All right, continuing off where we left off yesterday, we're going to continue on with making this website work correctly. And so I have my links here all working. I have my home and my about page and my products and calendar, and I added all those yesterday. But I have this /page/home in parentheses on every single link. So where did that come from? CSS. Okay, how do I find that? How do I find what? F12? What is that? All right, F12 brings up the Google, I never use that, Google Tools. I always go this way, but that's good. Developer Tools. All right, this is our developer tools. And so let's inspect this element. So I right-click on the element, and I come down and inspect the element. Now this is the A tag that is that. Okay, so it's got all of that information in here. And notice it doesn't have /page/home in the source, right? So it's being put on by the CSS. It has to be. So we scroll over here and we look down and we try to find where is that being put. And we find it right here. This is an after element, a pseudo after element, and it's saying for every link, add some content that is this, the href. Whatever the href is in the A tag, add that at the end of the tag here. All right? So if I turn these off, now it looks better, right? Isn't that great? A lot better. So how do where is this found?
Click on the link to the right there.
So here is the style sheet page where it's found. So I can look at print.css, and here's the link here. So I want to get rid of that. So why in the world is a print style overriding my page? I'm not printing. Should it not be including my print style? Isn't that the crux of the problem?
It's further down the cascade.
Yeah, so if I look at my source, let's go back to my elements and look at the head here. It's actually including my print style sheet somewhere in here. Print.css. Okay, so that style, that A after tag, is being applied to every link through this style sheet. So that's a problem. I shouldn't have my print style sheets affecting my display style sheets, right? Can we agree on that? Yeah, right. You're in that. You're going to very soon. That's going to be your favorite assignment. So the problem is we come to where this is in our layout. This is our application layout page that has the yield in it. Remember that? So this is where it's including all of the application.css files, and the media is set to all. So that means load me all the print styles and the display styles and everything. All right, so I don't want that. I don't want that print style sheet to be displayed. So let's go look at our style sheets. This is what's being loaded, this application.css. And you notice it's requiring itself plus every other style sheet in the list. So it goes through and it includes every single one of these. All right, so this is one case where Rails does too much for us.
There's 6 style sheets
Mm-hmm.
listed, but when you had the actual source open on the page, there was over a dozen.
Some of them were JavaScripts here.
Oh.
So that it loads all the style sheets and then all of the JavaScripts as well. Okay? So I want to load all of these but the print style sheet. And I don't know of a nice way to do that other than modifying this. Don't include everything. So let's remove the required tree. And let's just require the ones that I want in the right order that I want. So let's include Dave. And require Page, just in case I need these later. And require Say. And notice it finds it, Yeah, RubyMine finds it because it knows that file exists in its directories. So require styles, all right? So now I'm requiring all of them except the print style sheet. All right, so if I reload this, that style is gone. Isn't that great? Ta-da! Now, I need to have the print style sheet if somebody wants to print my page, right? So I need to include that one separately. So where is this file being included again? Who includes this file?
Application.
Right, this layout, this application.html layout. So this is where it's including that manifest file. And we'll change the media to just display. And let's create a new one, a new style sheet tag that links to just print. And change its media to, what do you think it would be? Print. There you go. So that should fix that. The print style now will show up on print pages, and only if I try to print the page. Got the problem here. What am I missing? So I'm Dave, page, say, styles, print. Is a very small. So something when I copied this is wrong. Or I just didn't load all the way. Let's just reload it. See, that's much better. Boy, I did this about 10 minutes ago and it worked fine. So something wrong here. A bokeh. And this is going only for the print, so that's okay. What did I do? Well, the last thing I did, that's why I do one thing at a time. Let's take away our style sheet and reload it, our print style. So that's strange. Maybe display is wrong. I think it's not display, it's screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's put this back in and change this to screen. I think that's where I went wrong. Oops. Yay, see, I was right all along. So screen is the type that the style sheets are going to be loaded for. Print is only going to show up if I try to print. So let's try and print this guy and see what it looks like. And let's print it to a PDF. And it took away everything. So this is what the style sheet comes back with. Not much. Takes away almost everything. So, which is probably what you want. You really want the content. That's what the print style sheet's supposed to do. You don't want to print all that color stuff. All right, so, yeah, right. So that's the way that our style sheet works. So we'll quit that. Cancel. All right, so I've fixed my layouts. Now I have all of my links here. Everything looks good. I don't have that extra garbage. I put my contact us under as a submenu of my about page. All my links go to the right page. And log in, log out. All I care about is log in, log out will be coming as we implement a log in, log out system. All right. So if you're logged in, this will change to log out. If I'm logged out, it will change to log in. So there's only one link that will change back and forth. All right. All right, so let's go on. There was a question about, I think Sean had the question about creating the navigation partial that we have here and changing the class based on what page we're on, right? So we can pass additional information to this link to and change the class itself that's applied to that link. So I started a style sheet at the bottom. I changed and created this class called current page, and it's going to be red and bold. All right, so let's see. Let's apply that. Oops, I got it. Let's apply that to this home page indiscriminately. To do that, I pass the symbol class followed by its value. So this is a key value pair in a hash, and the class value is going to be current page. Okay, so that's the class that I created in my style sheet. So let's go see if that actually worked. See, isn't that great? Something wrong with that. My home page still didn't load right. So let's look at the source. When in doubt, you always go to the source and look at that particular element, and let's see what happened here. Let's just reload it. It should work. I don't see why it's not working. So it's not adding that class here at all. Why not? Is there another current page somewhere? No. So that's correct. Look at my nav. That should be right. So let's go look at the API. That's our next thing. I want you to get used to this anyway. Right? API.rubyonrails.org. We look for the link to, and we have some HTML options here. See if they have an example of a class. Yep, they have a class. No, that's just a different way of writing a key value pair that Ruby 1.9 came up with. So this is the same thing as colon class equal greater than article. I know. So this is how you see it. This is the new way because it saves 3 characters. I don't know why Ruby does this. The Ruby people think they know best on this, obviously, so they can do what they want. But they still allow the old style, the hash rocket, which is what I know the best. Yeah, 3 bytes, huge savings. So, and that's only in the code itself. It doesn't have anything to do with the outside world. So, I think that is going to be my problem right there. Nope, apparently not. Doggone it. So I don't know what it is offhand. Let me think about that, and we won't worry about the visual part of it. I'll have to figure that out. It's a CSS issue, but notice it did add the class to my A tag. So it's just a matter of hierarchy of the classes, making sure that they don't step on each other. So I'll leave that as a problem for you guys to fix. So the class is actually shown here, okay? It just depends. It depends on your layout, though, right? Your particular CSS is different than mine, right? Yeah, so the other links are not there, right? they don't have that class here. So it only added the class to the one that I added it to. So the Ruby is spitting out the right stuff in my nav. It's actually printing out the class equals current page. All right. So what we need to do is to determine whether or not to display this, right? So if we're not on this page, we don't display this class. So this is just Ruby code. We can do if statements around this entire block here. So let's do a bad way to do it first, just to show you some different ways. I can say if, and there's a built-in method called action name that tells you, that is a string that tells you what action is being called. Okay, so if the action name is equal to, it's just a string, if it's equal to home, then that means I'm on that page, right? So I would want to set my class to the current page. Otherwise, else, and what is wrong with my if statement up there first before we go too far? The equal sign, I don't want to output the result of calling a conditional statement. So my conditionals do not need the equal sign. Remember, this is putting this data out to the screen or to the HTML, so I don't want to do that on control statements. So this is maybe a tedious way to do this. If my action name is home, I'm going to then not pass a class. So if I'm on the current page, it's going to show this class. Otherwise, it's going to show this class. So let's go see that, and I'll do it just in the source. So my current page, I'm on the home page. See, this home page is the action name. So action name equals home. So so it put on the class of current page. See how that worked? Now, if it's not, if I do something like blog, then I look at that home page link, and it no longer has that class on it. All right, so I conditionally add the class based on what is going on in this page. So I could do that for each and every one of these links, right? If I'm on that page, then add this class. If I'm not on the page, don't add the class. Does that make sense? Conditionally, I'd have to have an if-else for each one of these links. All right, any questions on that? That's one possibility to do that. So another way is we can create methods in Rails just like we do in Ruby. And methods are a nice way of drying up our code, right? So let's start and create a new method, and we'll call it nav_link_to, all right? nav_link_to. This is my own homegrown method. And I'm going to use that and create my own method. Now, in Rails, just like everything else, it has a home. Helpers or methods that are going to be used in my view are all done in the helpers folder. All right? Every time I create a new controller, it creates a new helper file for specific methods for that particular controller. If this method is going to be used across the entire application, then which of these files do you think I'd put it in? Right? The application helper. All right? So this is a module that can contain additional methods. So let's just create a method in here, and we'll call it nav_link_to. And we're going to pass it some information. So we need to pass it the click text. We'll call it click text. We'll pass it the URL, and we'll pass it the style, if there is one. All right, so 3 values that I'm going to pass to my link to method. And what it's going to return, for now, let's just start it one piece at a time. I'm going to return whatever the link to method returned, but we're going to hard code some things in here for now. All right, so there it is. Thank you. So this is going to change to my variable click text, right? My page home path is going to change to URL, and this class is going to change to, and I don't really need these, to whatever is passed into style. All right, and that is going to return what? What type of data is this, you think? A string, right? Absolutely. It's a string. We're in standard Ruby here. There's nothing special. This will return a string. This is a method that creates that A tag. So all we're going to do is return that automatically to the caller. So in our main program, in our nav, we can change this now to navlink, navlink2. And we're going to pass this information. Instead of the class, we're going to pass just current page, because that's the style name that I want to apply to that. All right, that's a first step. Right, save some more typing, right? I don't have to do a lot of stuff. Now I need to incorporate some of this logic into my navlink2, so I don't have to have this if-else statement around it. I want to either produce this information or this information based on where I'm at. So I can use this action name if statement all inside of my link, inside of my helper. And I need to do some things inside of here. Okay, so if the action name is equivalent to what? Okay, click text is close. Not quite, though, because it's a capital, when I call it, it's this capital home, so that's not exactly the same. If down here I have contact us with a space, so that's not quite the same. And so there are some shortcuts, but it might be easier to pass in an additional information to tell it what action this link would be on if I'm on the current page. All right, so I can pass in another value. Let's put it here, and we'll call it action. All right, so action I'm going to pass in case instead of that, I'm going to pass in the string home. All right, so let's go to my helper. I'm going to not only pass in the click text, I'm going to pass in the action. I'm going to receive the action. And now I can say if action name equals action, that means I'm on the current page, right? I might return this with a style, with a specific style that comes into it. Otherwise, I might return link to, click text, URL, and nothing, right? I don't want to pass a class to that. And I need an end statement for my else. All right, so now I've moved the conditional statement up a level into this little helper method that I've created. Both of these are going to return a string, and it's going to put it back in that place. So now let's go use that in place of this if here. So with one statement now, I can take away all of this stuff. And now I'm back to almost what my nav looked like before, right? All right, nav link to, I pass some additional information, and it will add the class or not depending on if I'm on that page, right? So let's go and test that. And unfortunately, we can only do that in my source, right? So this is the page. I'm on the home page, so I should have the current page link. Where am I? Okay, so it added the class current page, so that's correct. If I go to some other one like blog, I'm no longer on the home page, so the home page removes that current page class. Isn't that sweet? That's some epic code right there.
Yeah, seeing as you can throw into any of the other tabs.
Right, absolutely. So I can change now my nav and change all of these to nav link tos. So I can say nav link to. I pass the about. What is the action for the about page? Just about with a lowercase. I'm going to go to the about us page, and I'm going to pass in the current page. All right, so I would do that to all of these. Let's do one more. Nav link to contact us. The action name for contact us is what? If you forget, let's go look at the page controller. And what is the action name?
Just underscore says.
Right, right. And there are some methods that let you convert these back and forth. You could make it a little easier, but I just want to get you started here.
If it's one word for the
Just a down case. Sure. All right. Isn't that great? Look at that. So now my nav link is a lot cleaner. It will take care of that separate class that I need if my style people wanted that to change. I can do anything I want in this application helper, and I only have to change it now in one place.
Which you can only see in your source code.
Right. My style is wrong, obviously. So, but I'm not a style aficionado. So we'll fix that later. So, isn't that great? Cool stuff. Dynamically generating URLs based on what page we're on. All right. Any other questions on that? All right. I wasted time trying to figure out that stupid A tag, so we're out of time now. So if there aren't any questions, we'll stop today.